Hi, it's Dr. Pavanka, and I want to talk a little bit about teams today. So it kind of seems like a weird thing to talk about with vet med, and I definitely surprised people in undergrad when I took a team building class. Not just that I took the class, but when they asked us how we expected to use it throughout life, they thought that I would be a little bit flummoxed, I think, because I definitely had a canned answer, and that was the fact that as a veterinarian, I'm part of your healthcare team as the pet owner. So no matter what we do with life, we're going to work with teams. That's the way our society is. But honestly, we kind of have two different teams. We have our clinic team as far as we're working together in the clinic to make everything run smoothly for everybody. But you're also part of that because you're the one who sees the pet all the time and you're the one who makes the final decision. We support you through giving you the information and giving you your options, and you have to tell us what works best for you. Other parts of your team for your healthcare would be having the trainer or behaviorist or any referrals that you need to do as far as if you need an oncologist or if there's any other specialist that you might need. You also have pet sitters and boarding facilities that also fit in there in doggy daycare, depending on what you use and what you need. I actually had a case years ago that I was really surprised because with dogs, as we've talked about in previous videos, their stress organ's the gut, so we have vomiting and diarrhea when they're stressed. I had a pet sitter come in and they told me, you know what, this is not normal for this dog. And I'm like, are you sure? Like, vomiting, diarrhea, do we really want to spend all the money on this dog? Like, here's some supportive care, we can do this. And they're like, no, you don't understand. This is not this dog. That pet sitter saved that dog's life because I was going to treat it as a stress colitis because it looked like a slam dunk stress colitis. That dog actually had a life-threatening condition and nobody ever would have seen it. It was a straight curveball. Nobody would have seen it in coming from anywhere. It was kind of an incidental finding on x-ray how we diagnosed it. But I told that client, I'm like, you know what, you need to tell your pet sitter thank you because I never would have seen that. I would have put them on supportive care and they would have passed away. So every part of our team is very important, and knowing what your normal is for your pet versus what their abnormal is super important to us. A lot of times when you come in, we're going to ask a lot of annoying questions that you think we should already know, but that's to make sure that we haven't made any changes at home that we need to update in our record at the vet clinic. So with that, we have pieces of our team. As far as the veterinary team, we have our CSR, who are the first people who see you when you come in the door. And a lot of times they deal with kind of triaging too. I will have Sydney or Morgan at Village Vet come back and they're like, okay, I don't think this is quite right. Or I sometimes have our office manager, Penny, come back and say, hey, you know what? I think there's something really wrong with this dog. I need you to come up front and look at him. And a lot of times I've had them definitely save pets because they do that. We also have our assistants. They do a lot of the cleaning. They do a lot of the tests as far as running our lab work in-house. They help me restrain pets. They pull up vaccines for me. They definitely are a very important part of the team too. And then we have our veterinary nurses or veterinary techs who are basically like nurses for humans, except for we also expect them to be our anesthesia nurses. We expect them to be our dental hygienists. We expect them to be our rehab therapists or kind of like a physical therapist just for dogs and cats. We do expect a lot out of them. They a lot of times will help with x-rays, so they're kind of an x-ray tech too. They run a lot of our lab work, and a lot of times they deal with the pharmacy side of things too, as far as if I have a client who requests a medication or a prescription food, I know my vet tech Sarah is going to look at that before I ever get a chance to look at it. And the same thing with the tests, when test results come in, she's the one who's like, hey, you know what, Dr. Pavanka, this fecal is positive for this. What do you want to do as far as medications? And a lot of times she's the one who calls the client and says, hey, here's what we have. This is what's recommended. And she makes sure everything runs smoothly. And she does deal a lot with client education, which is another thing that a lot of times our veterinary nurses or veterinary technicians really do a lot of. As the veterinarian, we're the ones who have the knowledge as far as different disease processes, responsible for knowing the physiology and anatomy of the pets. We're the ones who do the acupuncture, the spinal manipulation, or like kind of chiropractic, depending on our certifications. With those two, those are more certifications you have to go for in addition to vet school. Dr. Tolson also has food therapy that she's done a lot of that is very, very beneficial, or herbal medications. Those are more of our alternatives. But in addition to that, we have surgery, we have dental extractions and doing dentals, and we have other procedures that we do in clinic. So there's a lot that we can do for you, but the other thing you need to realize is that sometimes we don't know things that go on at home, as far as, you know what, Fluffy doesn't take pills, or you know what, we gave the liquid and it's just not working for us. We need something else. And if you tell us, hey, you know what, these routes for medications don't work for us, or you know what, like we tried to do this, it's just not working, we can help you troubleshoot, or we can try to find alternative therapies. If it's something that we can't do because of cost, a lot of times we'll try to give you other options. That's one of the beauties of the job, is we can help you, or at least try to help you find avenues that work well. And that's a lot of times why I make different handouts for clients, is trying to make sure that I cover all of the options, so that if they're like, you know what, my dog won't take pills, so I can't do that carprofen for the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory, I can look at it and be like, okay, well, you know what, we have Librela that we could do instead, or you know, there's ketamine injections that we could do. What other ways can we help you? Is it doing an Assisi loop that helps with pulse magnetic therapy, or is it laser therapy? What can we do to help you? So do let your vet team know how they can be a better teammate, and do let me know if there's anything else you want me to cover. Thanks.